Hi, I'm Chris Martinson of Peak Prosperity. It is Thursday, December 4th. This is your weekly update. Wow, there's a lot going on right now. We're looking at a situation where the central bankers are continuing in their panic. And here's how it played out today. So Mario Draghi, who is the head of the European Central Bank, he comes out and has a full 90-minute conference this morning talking about, well, maybe they're going to do a little more QE, stuff that they've said many times. The markets didn't respond appropriately. The markets started to fall, and wouldn't you know it, just a few hours later, the markets are down a fraction of a percent, less than 0.5%, and there are leaks that come out from the central bank saying, oh, we might have been misunderstood here. We're going to do more. The central bankers are now intervening and manipulating all of the markets with words, with deeds, anytime that the markets even look slightly weak. So this tells us something. It tells us something important, which is that our central bankers are afraid of the markets going down. And maybe they should be, because really it's all they have. It's the only thing that they can really point to say, this is our crowning success of printing trillions of dollars, accidentally making the wealthy wealthier, increasing social tensions around the world, increasing the imbalances in the world, but at least stocks and bonds are at all-time record highs. And this is what pleases them the most. And so they're hanging their hat on that. The problem with this story, though, and I've just written a huge two-parter about this that's currently up on the website, it's around the fact that all of the data says that we're having a global slowdown in the economy. I mean, what are we, 5-6 years into this money printing effort? This is about the right time for a recession just by calendar time. But the truth is the world economies never really got up off the mat. They never really carried forward, except for China. And we'll get to that in a second. And so when we look at the GDP numbers that are coming out, we see that France is in recession. We see that Italy is in recession. We see that Greece is in recession. We see things that Europe is just barely teetering along. Japan clearly in recession. Japan, the poster child, proving that 28 years of quantitative easing and trying to print their way to prosperity has only managed to secure them flatline growth and $1 million of debt per person now exists in the Japanese economy. They'll never be able to pay it back. The yen is just a disaster waiting to happen. And with all of that, what do the central banks do? They're like, well, I guess we just didn't print enough. We're going to have to print more. We'll have to use words to convince people the markets should go up. But guess what? The markets have to be connected to fundamentals sooner or later. That's what we're talking about. And when we look at the 4 key commodities in the world that are related to global growth, if you want to see global economic growth, you have to have these 4 commodities taking off: coal, iron ore, oil, copper. Every single one of those is down in price, but worse, we're seeing a slump in demand, mostly coming out of China, who I said I'd get back to. China's housing miracle, air quotes on that one, now over. What did they do? They built ghost cities. A report came out 3 days ago that said that China has invested, air quotes again, $16.5 trillion building ghost cities and other investments that really provide no economic return. Well, they had a construction economy. That construction economy is off. So coal, oil, steel, and copper, look at those things, all down in price. If you are in Australia, get ready for a slowdown, courtesy of China, no longer buying your stuff. Of course, you already know this because you've seen Glencore, the largest coal operator in Australia, shutting down all of its mines, laying off everybody for a 3-week furlough because they just don't have the demand for their coal at this point in time. Big story, big developing story. Wish we could be talking about it in the world press and the central bankers could have some honesty, but instead they just do whatever they need to do to make sure that at least stock prices keep going up. It's all they have left. It's just desperate and shallow, and it's going to end in tears. That's our view. But come check it all out at the site. And if you want, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, and we will have more updates for you as they come available. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.